the horizon, 100 miles away. Pulsating in the silence at the end of the day.
Just met a guy recently who reminded me of another guy, a slide guitar player that I ran into one time in Troy, Montana. And he joined in with me on a set, and we just rocked that room that night. And so this guy reminded me of him, and then I just started thinking about how that is when you run into some guy who might be and might not be the guy you're thinking of. But you have to kind of like scrape away in your mind, scrape away like 15 or 18 years of whatever living, you know, kind of smooth out the face a little bit, take some of the gray out of the hair, and then kind of play back the voice, and you go, yeah, that's the guy, you know, or it isn't the guy, right?
Yeah.
But you know, he may be some guy that just bought some fish from you and he's living in Winlaw, you know.
Yeah.
But you remember him from some other place, right?
Yeah.
Some club somewhere, some bar down in Montana maybe. And he was a hell of a slide guitar player. Just you and this one guy just rocking that room all night. All the cowboys and their ladies out there swinging each other around, yeah.
Name for your guitar?
Actually, I thought about naming it, and I know I've never come up with a name for it. It's just my guitar. It's a Fender El Rio.
Yeah.
From 1986. It's got cracks and scars in it, and it's got different things done to it. And,
you've had it since '86?
I got it brand new, and I got it. The story about this guitar is I was in LA, and I had this friend. He was a guitar player, and we used to like write songs together, and he had this little amplifier, and I didn't have this guitar at the time. I had this old folk music. It's a Yamato guitar, a folk guitar, but I put a little pickup on it, and we'd plug into his little amplifier, and we'd sit out in the evenings and sing our songs. And at that time we were doing a kind of like a pop music, sort of Beatlesque kind of pop music thing. And this little sidewalk cafe in Hollywood, we used to go over there and have coffee and sing. And after some months, we'd get the same group of people coming around every night just to listen to us and some of them, I guess, became fans. And there were these two girls. I'd always be breaking strings. That old guitar of mine, I guess it needed a new bridge or something, so I'm always breaking strings, and I'm always retying the strings, so I couldn't afford new strings. And I was talking about this guitar that I'd seen this one time in a music store up in Vancouver at Pamis Music on Broadway. It was this Fender El Rio, and one day these girls asked me, these two girls, they said, well, take us downtown here in Hollywood, and so let's see if we can find one of this Fender El Rio that you can show us. So we went looking through the music stores and guitar stores, and finally at a place called the Guitar Shop, we found a Fender El Rio hanging on the wall, and I said, there it is. So I took it down and kind of played it a little bit, and they said, you sure that's the one? That's the guitar of your dreams? I said, yeah, it is. They said, okay, it's yours.
Wow. They bought it for you?
They bought it for me. It was a present with the case. So, you know, as tough as life can get as a Canadian musician, Canadian songwriter, you know, a guy in my position now, I can never really quit. I've tried to quit. I can never really quit because I'm kind of married to it now. Every time I see this guitar, I think of those two girls. And somewhere along the line, there's like somebody believed in what I was doing, loved my songs enough, liked me enough, I guess, saw something in me, so I got to keep pushing. Keep playing anyway.
Do you feel, when I was watching Woodstock one time, I was watching Jimi Hendrix, right? And I could really see some kind of spirit moving through Jimmy and coming out through his guitar. And I don't know if you've ever felt something like that. Kind of this, whatever you want to call that spirit, if it's a creative spirit or a...
I think I know what you mean, and I think I know what you mean. And I think maybe I felt it once or twice in my life. And it's a thing that I seek. It's a thing that I've tried to find. And it's just, it has something to do with, I guess, maybe knowing your instrument so well, but also something to do with just being able to just let go. Like I tend to play, I'm very controlled, very, you know, I'm always figuring out, trying to figure out how's it sounding, you know, how am I doing? I think there's some players who they just pick up the guitar and they just start moving their fingers, and whatever comes out, and it just somehow seems to work for them. You know, whatever comes out, you know. And I found the times when I've actually felt that kind of, you know, sort of spirit, if you want to call it that, have been times when I just like dropped my guard, just dropped my defenses. They'd be times, mornings when I'm just so tired from the night before, right? Just so completely dragged out that I don't really care anymore, and I just drop all my defenses. I just forget about trying to figure out everything, and all the complication drops away, and I'll just be playing some old covers or some song of mine or something like that. But it just seems to automatically sound good and feel good, and times like that when it just starts to flow and I don't even have to think about it, it can feel so good that I'll just start laughing in the middle of a song, you know. It's just like, it feels so good. It's like bliss of some kind. I've seen that happen to guys, and I'm glad to be able to say I know what they're talking about now. I'd like to be able to find that and just live there, you know. Some guys, I think they do.
Well, when I was watching you live, you felt so comfortable up there that I felt it could go anywhere. I felt, you know, like you could take me anywhere you wanted to go, and I'd go along for the ride. And I felt like you had that kind of natural ability to.
And I think I'm discovering how to put myself. Basically, you know, you can't help trying to plan your set, but you always know the set's not going to go the way you expect it to. The room's not going to fill up with the people you had in your mind when you were planning your set. And so from the other side of the mic, it's always a different room. And I'm learning now to just sort of walk out there expecting anything, and just to enjoy whatever happens. You know, people are there I hope that people who come down, if they're coming down to see me play, what they're there for is the words and music, because I don't put on a show. I'm not there to dazzle anybody with my musicianship. I'm not that good a musician. But words and music, if people want to come down and they're looking for words and music, that's what they're going to get.
Right.
And so I can stand up there and make mistakes. I can screw it up. I can start again, or whatever. But it's the words and music that I'm giving people, and so I'm always having fun with it that way. And you get, my defenses are down. It's kind of like, here I am, sort of like with my bare face hanging out. And so you just kind of, you forget about trying to put on a show of any kind. That thing with throwing the pages around, that started years ago, because I used to, when I went out to do a show, this is an example of how my show is loosened up and I'm getting closer to that thing. I used to always have a little table. When I finished a song, I'd take the lyric sheet and put it on this table. And then one night, 10 years ago or something. I forgot the little table, and I didn't realize I got to the end of the first song and I had nowhere to put the lyric sheet, so I just chucked it like that, and that became People Laughed, and I thought, oh, that seems to work, and I just made that part of my show. And it's less for me to pack around to a gig now, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't need that little table anymore.
And see it all this way. This way. In the time it takes you. Sing it. Holy shit, I believe this is it. Something like that.
See him at the sunset?
I did.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah. And you know, the thing with his balloons,
Yeah.
I'm thinking afterwards I was in there, I caught like 2 or 3 more shows after him. But even like 45 minutes later, I'm going, Wax's set is still continuing because there's the balloon is still out there in the room,
Yeah,
right? Wax is still here even though it's someone else playing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that's really, really smart. You know, you could steal that idea and use paper airplanes.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna open the store up here, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, you bet. I'll come in and poke around.
Oh yeah, yeah.
During a slow time, you can see how busy I am right now.
Yeah, exactly, eh?
They are very nice, shooting stars. One more night in Kentucky, then I guess it's fairly well. Tomorrow morning is early, and after that, well,